A succession of lighting looks is stored in something called a sequence. There's a default sequence in the main playback, and every single one of the 80 master playbacks can be used to play back a sequence. You can store a total of 999 sequences in Congo. A sequence step is a placeholder for a preset plus timing information and links. Every sequence step is unique. There is only one step 1 in sequence 1. Presets are covered in a different tutorial, and if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend that you do. For now, let's just say that intensities and device parameters are stored in the preset part of a sequence step. Let's create a simple sequence in the main playback. To do so, I've loaded the default play demo.tour, renamed it as testing, and opened the training tab with a small stage so we can see something other than numbers on screen. Now I'll split the screen so we can see both the main playback tab and the demo tab at the same time. So I hold tab and press the down arrow. I'm going to select channels and set levels, and this is not covered in this tutorial. So I select channels 1 through 18 and I set them to full. I press record twice. This will record these lights into the first free preset, which is number 1, and create a sequence step with this preset in the main playback. And the default sequence of the main playback is sequence 1. Now I'll set these lights to 0, and I'll bring up some other lights to full. And I'll press record twice again. Now I have 2 steps in my sequence. To fade to 0, I enter 0 and press go to. The time that was used is the default go time, which is default set to 5 seconds. This time will be used unless a different in or out time is defined for a step. Press go to fade to preset 1. Press go again to fade to preset 2. And if I press go again, I'm going to fade to the empty step at the end of a sequence, and then it'll start over. Let's try changing the times now. I'm going to take away the split screen by holding tab and pressing the up arrow so we can concentrate on the main playback tab. The next preset to fade in is preset 1. This little arrow tells us that times are being set to the B field of the main playback. The out time is 5 and the in time is 5. If I want to change this, I can enter 2 and press time. Now both in and out time are changed to 2 seconds. I'll press go. Since there are moving devices in the next step, the graphical representation here will show you both the out time, the in time, and the focus, color, and beam times. I'm not going into that into detail, but I will show you how to set a separate in and out time. So I'll enter 0.1 and press out. Now I set an out time of 0.1. And I'll enter 3 and press in. Now I set an in time of 3 seconds. 0.01 is the shortest time you can possibly set because 2 decimals are the maximum resolution for times. I'll press go. There's that fade. There's a separate tutorial which goes more into detail about sequence times. Let's leave that for now and see what else we can do with the sequence step by opening the sequence editor. So to do that, we press sequence. This opens a list of all sequences. Like I told you, there can be 999 sequences. Since we only have one, and it's the selected one, I can press modify to open the editor for the first one. We have 2 steps. Step 1, and if I use the down arrow, step 2. If I use the right arrow, I'll just go through the columns really fast here and show you what a sequence step can have besides a preset. First column is the preset. In the top half, there's a channel view, and you can use this to edit the preset in this step blind using channel level and parameter controls. Next, you have delay out time, delay in time, in time. The next 2 columns belong together. In the WFA time column, you can enter a time, and in the WFA column, you can toggle if this time is supposed to be a wait time, a follow-on time, or an alert time. These are covered in a separate tutorial. The mode decides how the preset will fade relative to the previous step of the sequence. So X means crossfade, M means move fade, and L means lock fade. These are also covered separately. Text is a text for this sequence step, which is unique. P is preset text because a preset is a reference data and can be reused somewhere else, but you can edit and read the preset text here. So the preset could be red ambient light, and the text could be press go when the actor steps in through the door. The attribute move column decides how moving devices will behave, if they will automark, move in B, move while dark, or move on go. This is also covered separately. Channel times means that you can set individual times to specific channels within this fade. Master link means that you can link any number of masters to this step. Master page means you can change the master page when this step is executed. Fade curve means you can set a curve for the profile of the crossfade. Link to step means you can make a conditional jump from this step to another step in the sequence. Time code means you can set a time code for this step to be triggered at. Note is a note function that's covered separately. Block tracking means you can block this step of the sequence from track editing. Macro means you can connect a macro to this step. Action macro means you can connect an action macro to this step. And a profile is a manual crossfade that's recorded in a timeline exactly the way it's performed. These are a lot of functions, and most of them are rarely used normally, but they're all there to help you out in a specific situation. Press escape and you leave the editor. Press escape to leave the sequence list.